There's a moment, you know, when holding an original First World War soldier's field kit, that every history enthusiast experiences the same realization. The men who carried these packs weren't just infantry, they were masters of efficient, stripped-down living. Long before ultralight backpacking became trendy, and really long before survival channels and gear reviews filled the internet, these soldiers were forced by circumstance to refine the art of carrying only what truly mattered. And what they came up with is so effective that modern hikers, bushcrafters and preppers could transform their entire approach just by studying a kit from 1914. This wasn't gear designed for comfort. It was designed for survival. Designed by quartermasters who had to think brutally and practically about weight, durability and multi-use efficiency. In fact, some of the principles baked into a First World War soldier's kit outperform many modern habits we've developed through consumer convenience. So today we're going to break down exactly what made that kit so revolutionary, why it still outperforms the average modern backpack, and how you can apply those lessons on your next hike or wilderness trip. If you love history, fieldcraft, or learning how the past solves today's problems, then, well, settle in. This is going to change the way you pack forever. The core philosophy of the First World War kit was carrying items that served more than one purpose. Now, a typical soldier marched with around 30 kilograms of equipment, but, you know, nearly every piece did double or even triple duty. The haversack wasn't just a simple bag, it was actually a clever structure that separated dry goods from wet ones, protected rations, and held tools in easily accessible layers. Much of the gear was standardized, but soldiers, well, they quickly learned to pack it in ways that saved time and reduced fatigue. What's truly fascinating is that this mindset directly parallels what modern ultralight backpackers preach, except, of course, the soldiers had no choice in the matter. The army didn't allow space for waste. One of the most brilliant examples was the mess tin. Soldiers used it not just to eat from, but to boil water, melt snow, sterilize cloth, mix dough, press charcloth, and even as a makeshift shovel in frozen ground. If you want a practical takeaway, update your own kit by eliminating single-purpose items. Before adding something to your pack, ask the same question soldiers did. What 3 roles can this serve? And do I already have something that covers those roles? Applying that test alone can shave pounds off modern gear. The clothing layers soldiers wore reveal timeless insulation strategies. The WWI uniform wasn't warm because it was high-tech. It was warm because soldiers mastered moisture management. The wool tunic absorbed sweat without losing insulation. The shirt underneath dried quickly on the move, and the greatcoat provided wind protection that modern synthetics struggle to replicate in durability. Wool socks were replaced constantly, sometimes even twice a day, because soldiers knew that foot moisture was the enemy long before the term trench foot made it infamous. For a modern backpacker, the lesson is, well, pretty straightforward. Even with all the synthetic options we have today, wool remains superior in wet, cold, and unpredictable environments. Adding even just one merino layer or switching to wool socks actually replicates the World War I approach and dramatically reduces heat loss on long hikes. Many soldiers also kept a dedicated dry pair of socks sealed inside their packs for emergencies. Survivalists today often rediscover this trick the hard way, but it remains one of the simplest, most reliable methods for keeping yourself functional in harsh weather. The organization of the soldier's pack teaches a system that modern hikers rarely use. Every soldier learned to pack by weight distribution. Heavy items high and close to the spine, soft items filling gaps, and essentials accessible without digging. This allowed a soldier to open the haversack once, retrieve what he needed, and close it immediately, crucial during rain or enemy fire. Many troops also lined their packs with waxed canvas to protect contents from moisture and mud. If you want a direct, actionable method to use today, try packing your backpack once using modern convenience and once using the World War I method. Place dense items like cookware and food tight against your upper back. Compress clothing at the bottom. Keep fire-starting material, cordage, and a blade in the outermost layer or a belt pouch. Then go on the same hike with both setups. The difference in fatigue and balance is immediate, and it mirrors exactly why soldiers could march 20 kilometers a day under far harsher conditions. Instead of the sprawling survival loadouts many outdoors enthusiasts carry today, a World War I infantryman often relied on just a jackknife, an entrenching tool, and sometimes a sharpening stone. That was, the entire cutting and digging arsenal for months in the field. They learned to maintain their blades rather than replace them, and, they learned techniques that maximize the effectiveness of simple tools. For modern fieldcraft, trying a similar approach builds valuable skills. Take a weekend trip using only a fixed-blade knife and a small folding shovel. You'll quickly learn efficient fire prep, wood processing, tent platform clearing, and how to create makeshift cooking rigs. These were daily habits for soldiers, and adopting even a fraction of this self-reliance strengthens your ability to adapt outdoors. Military rations weren't glamorous, but they were engineered for endurance. Hardtack, preserved meats, condensed soups, jam, tea and chocolate were compact, high-calorie and stable in every weather condition. These days, modern hikers often carry snacks that, crush easily, lose their flavour, or give you a quick burst of energy before causing a crash. Back then, soldiers relied on slow-burn carbohydrates and fats because, they provided consistent stamina throughout the day. You can replicate this with simple choices like oat cakes, nut butters, dried meats, or dense bread. The brilliance of the World War I soldier's kit doesn't lie in nostalgia. It lies in the practical engineering that came from hardship. Gear stripped down to its most essential functions, organized with purpose, and carried with a discipline that modern outdoors culture sometimes forgets. Every hiker, prepper, camper or backyard experimenter can benefit from these lessons. If you found this breakdown useful and want more history-backed field wisdom, be sure to subscribe to Backyard Wisdom and share this video with someone who loves real, time-tested survival knowledge.